Ladies and gentlemen, Biden will get impeached before 2024, before November of 2024. How do I know this, or how do we all know this? Newsweek. You can look at a Newsweek article. Republicans want consequences like impeachment. This is 2 days ago. But you can look at Politico. Trump endorses McCarthy. Reuters. Trump urges House Republicans to back McCarthy. New York Post. Trump fully backs McCarthy speaker bid. And NBC News. Trump doubles down on support for Kevin McCarthy. Well, why do you think he's supporting Kevin McCarthy? Okay. Why do you think Jim Jordan and James Comer in the House Judiciary and House Oversight Committees are stepping up their investigation, demanding Federal Bureau of Investigation officials give information about Hunter's laptop, the felonies within those emails? Okay, so the Hunter laptop story had to do with felonies, law breaking, serious issues, quid pro quo, possible graft, bribery, and other felonies, other serious crimes. 150 banking transactions to the tune of tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars going to the Bidens. Trump has nothing like this. There is no laptop. Trump doesn't have, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. don't have a laptop where they're being paid millions upon millions of dollars and within an email being asked to use their influence on behalf of another company. The influence being altering U.S. foreign policy, okay? Hunter is literally asked in emails to use influence to alter U.S. foreign policy. It is within the New York Post, the same New York Post that was silenced by Twitter. The truth about the Democratic Party is always repackaged and marketed as an attempt by another country to let you know how terrible Democrats are. Anyway, why do you think Trump backed McCarthy? Trump backed McCarthy because McCarthy is not only down for impeachment, but he'll impeach before 24. So, Democrats love to, and media loves to talk about Trump, twice impeached, president twice impeached. Well, the second impeachment, that was a complete fiasco. Both impeachments were just political stunts. The second impeachment, nobody could have seen. Okay, that was a terrible day. It wasn't Trump's fault. Okay, just like Trump wasn't an operative of the Kremlin, that day wasn't his fault, although it was a terrible day, preceded by a summer of $1 to $2 billion in property damage and 19 lives lost and 14,000 arrests. I agree with why people demonstrated peacefully. I agree with the cause of why people demonstrated, but I don't agree with the rampant chaos and mayhem that perhaps Democrats fostered in their words. But apparently nobody's blaming Democrats for that summer. So why anyone would blame Trump for that terrible day, that's just a twisted view of logic and reason. Anything bad that happens is Trump's fault. Anything bad and terrible that happens while Democrats are kind of urging the chaos and mayhem, had nothing to do with the Democratic Party. It's CNN with a reporter and a building in flames behind the reporter said, well, fiery but mostly peaceful. So we live in a very dystopian world where people will, there were toilet paper runs, a consequence of Democratic Party policies, not Trump's policy. The toilet paper runs had literally nothing to do with Trump. Nobody forced these Democratic governors to shut down their economies. That was a choice, and it was a fabricated consensus. If you spoke out, you were banned by Twitter. Okay, so everything is coerced, contrived, fabricated in terms of a mainstream viewpoint. Now we see Intel officials, they're going to have to testify. James Comer and Jim Jordan want the Honorable Christopher Wray of the Federal Bureau of Investigation to testify. They want documents. The investigation into Hunter is heating up because there were felonies there. Okay, he accepted money according to Ted Cruz, Chuck Grassley, Ron Johnson, Rand Paul, Jim Jordan, James Comer, Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. According to all of these people and the New York Post reporting, they accepted money to alter U.S. foreign policy. And there were a couple Democrats, one in particular, said, that's not true. We proved during the first impeachment that there was no attempt at altering U.S. foreign policy. And And Joe didn't force out a prosecutor. They didn't prove anything. They didn't even have the laptop. So how could you have proved? If they had the laptop, they would never have impeached Trump. The whole reason they impeached Trump the first time was having the audacity to ask another country's leader if Biden committed a crime, which now we know he almost certainly did. He did. Almost certainly. I'm being generous here. Hit subscribe to this channel right now to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Go to hagoodman.com, read my writing in The Hill. If you want to support my channel, my Patreon's below. The super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. And what can I tell you? Email me at contactgoodman88@gmail.com if you want to be part of a newsletter. But impeachment's going to take place, and it's going to be very important. He won't be removed. But neither was Trump. Trump was not removed by the Senate. You need 66 senators, 67 senators, I believe, to remove a president. Okay? But the impeachment is very important. Okay? Because Democrats get away with pretty much everything. Trump sneezes, and it's like, oh my God, a crime against humanity. So they accuse Trump of everything under the sun, tax returns, Stormy, they said that, okay, he was a Kremlin operative, that he caused January, all of these things. Nothing was ever true. They couldn't indict him on anything. And the only time they could indict him in New York, it was a catastrophic failure. Okay? They're going after him. There's one person going after him for a defamation suit without ever having proven the initial criminal allegation. So with Trump in New York, anything goes. Okay, the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have serious felonies with Joe and Hunter that are being completely ignored by mainstream. All they have to do, Jim Jordan, James Comer, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron Johnson, Rand Paul, Chuck Grassley, all they have to do is the following. Read from the New York Post reporting. That's all they have to do. And within those emails, 10% to Joe, for the big man, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? There's influence peddling. There are people asking for policy decisions and giving money. Those are serious crimes there. No one's making that up. Okay? Again, there's no Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. laptop. There's no laptop there. There is a laptop for Hunter. So the impeachment is going to show the country, and Democrats are rarely on the defensive, but they'll be on the defensive. It'll be much more important than the Durham probe. Okay, which actually was not a failure, complete failure. It showed that Democrats use all of these attorneys, public relations, tech people, media against their political rivals in the most insidious way. The thing with Trump, and here's why impeachment is important, is that the media and Democrats and maybe half the electorate, or I wouldn't say half, a good part of the electorate, despise Trump so much, even though he presided over record low poverty and record highs in household median income in 2019. They despise Trump's, and the tanking of the economy was not his fault in his last year in office. It had nothing to do with his policies. That was a choice that Democratic governors made. And it was a failure. They should never have done that. But that's a whole other story. Trump's message oftentimes is lost within his personality, and media has created a caricature of Trump, like a cartoon of Trump. There's actually two, maybe even three, but there's two Donald Trumps. One is who he is, what he accomplished as president, a very good president who's actually a very good human being that his family loves. And the other is a monster and a bully, and anything that takes place against him, anything they do to torment him is warranted. And so Trump's message about the criminality of his adversaries or Democrats is lost in the mix, is lost within the media frenzy. That's what media wants. They want everything to be so apoplectic and hysterical that any actual criminality or foul play is ignored. Like the Twitter files should have showed the world that Twitter was an extension of the Democratic Party. Instead, it was just lost within this vitriol and venom leveled at Trump. Anyway, impeachment is on the horizon. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right